Here, kitty, kitty. Kitty, Snowball.
When is this human going back to work?
Wanna snuggle? Got it. You're not in the mood for a snuggle. How about a belly rub? That would be a no.
Go back to work so you can afford my specialized cat food that I throw up.
How about we play Chase the Red Dot?
How about I drop a mouse head on your pillow and let you guess where the body is?
How about I put the Christmas tree up and let you climb all over it?
That's only fun when the expensive breakable ornaments are on it. How about you leave and go to work? I have 23 hours of nap time ahead of me.
Don't you love that I'm home? Don't you love that I can finally spend all of this time with you? Don't you love... Fine, be that way. I can take a hint.
Cute human re-entry in 3, 2, 1.
Guess what I have? Snoozy, woozy, cutesy, snoozy.
Darn it, it's tuna. I can't resist. I will not succumb to tuna. I will never succumb to tuna. What can I say? When it comes to tuna, I sell my soul. Luckily, I have 9 lives to live.
Go.
But I don't want to.
You can go.
Well, thanks for everything. See you later.
Hey, wait, I just saved you.
So?
So I risked life and limb and all I get is thanks?
Yeah.
But
Why are we so focused on you? I'm the one who's been locked in a tower for half my life.
I just saved your life.
And?
And I'm supposed to save you and we're supposed to get married.
Excuse me? I never agreed to that. I have rights, you know.
But
Really though, does this make any sense for me to marry you just because you saved me?
I slayed a dragon for you.
So, technically, I was fine in the tower while the dragon was in the main hall. I was relatively safe. That doesn't really constitute saving, and therefore no, marrying.
I slayed a dragon for you.
I'm not marrying you. I have plans. I've been studying for college.
College?
Yes, and I was studying that dragon that you slayed. Thank you very much for winning my first term paper.
Studying.
And that fire you started?
I started. The dragon's the one with the huge flamey breath.
It burned all 231 of my books. Every precious one of them.
How did you get books off that tower?
Birds brought them up.
What kind of birds carry books?
I don't know. Perhaps swallows.
Aside from the notion that a swallow has the brain capacity to bring you a book, I don't think they can carry it up to the tower.
Maybe 2 then.
Swallows don't organize.
Maybe just 1.
A swallow hasn't the wing capacity to bring you a book.
Perhaps an European's fault, but an African swallow does.
Swallows don't migrate.
Whatever.
I just saved you.
Ugh. On this again, are we? Really? Look at it from a logical viewpoint. Does this really mean I must dedicate my life to serving you? I hardly think that's appropriate.
But, dragon, imminent death.
Yeah, I heard you.
But I'm handsome and charming.
More like not terribly ugly and quite uninteresting.
Excuse me?
Well, really, all you've said so far is how handsome you are and how you saved me. I mean, honestly.
And the swallow thing.
Fine, I'll give you that.
Okay.
But then the dragon? You didn't need to kill it, did you? A simple kick in the shins would have been sufficient.
Have you ever seen a dragon? 40 feet tall, breathes fire when you try and kick it in the shins.
I know what a dragon is.
You are an odd and strange woman.
You're the person who wants to marry me.
Touche. Still don't want to, I'll take it.
Not particularly.
Alright then. Guess I'll have to find another fair maid to enjoy the splendors of being a princess. Being waited on hand and foot. All the jewels you could ever want. Largest library in the kingdom.
Library?
Oh yes. The larger than universities and filled with some of the best scholars in the world. But I guess you don't want it. Come along, Patsy.
No?
Wait for me, my prince!
Have you decided what you want? No, not really. I'd like to know.
Fine, what'll it be?
I'm not sure. I was about to say I'd like to hear about your specials.
Why?
Why? Because I might like to have one.
And you want me to explain?
Well, since I don't know what they are and you're the only one at this table who does, by process of elimination.
Alright, I get it. The specials today are fish and meat.
Fish and meat.
You need that defined?
No, I've got a grasp of the basics, but I would like you to fill me in some of the details.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe what kind of fish and what kind of meat.
My, but you just want the moon, don't you? Okay, we have white fish and red meat. Happy?
Ecstatic. You know what? Just bring me a Chinese chicken salad, please.
If you wanted a Chinese chicken salad, why did you ask me about the specials?
I don't know. I guess just deep down, I'm evil.
You won't get any complaints from me. Fine, Chinese chicken salad it is.
Note to myself, don't eat at this restaurant anymore. Now, back to notes on patient Jane Bryant. It's apparent after Jane's last session, her problems seem to stem from a lack of
Could you tear yourself away from your little recorder?
I'm sorry, I did not see you there.
Yeah, of course you didn't. Why would you? I'm sure you have much more important people to deal with. I'm just the waitress.
What can I do for you?
We're all out of chicken. You can have a Chinese salad.
There's no such thing as a Chinese salad.
There is today.
You know what? Just bring me a club sandwich.
What? You might try. Please. Bring me a club sandwich, please. I'm your waitress, not your servant.
Okay, that's enough. Have I done instead of existing and breathing, have I done something to offend you?
What could you mean?
Since you first came over here, you've been curt, sarcastic, and rude. If you're a French waitress, I'd expect it, but since you're not, it's apparent you're very angry about something, and you're taking it out on me.
Thanks. What are you, a shrink?
Actually, I'm a therapist.
Great. 75 tables here, and I have to wait on Sigmund Freud.
Enough! I want to talk to your manager.
Fine. Talk to the manager. Get me fired. Prove to her that she's right.
Prove to who what?
My wife. She said that this was a dead-end job and that I was a loser.
Your wife said you were a loser?
Yeah. Can you believe that? Especially since I was working and putting her through podiatry school.
Your wife's a podiatrist?
Yeah. Why? You got a problem with that, huh? You got something against feet?
No, not at all. I love feet. I use mine every day. They're very handy. Get it? Feet, hand. It was a joke.
Really? I hope you're a better therapist than you are a comedian.
Did you know that you are very hostile?
Sigmund Freud and Dick Tracy, what gave it away?
Fine, vent away, but you're targeting your anger at the wrong person.
Yeah, but it's at least convenient.
Not to mention counterproductive.
What does that mean?
Think about it. You're upset at your wife, but instead of taking it out on her, you're taking it out on everyone except for her. Now, what if someone does talk to your manager and you get fired? You said it yourself. You will prove her right, not because you are a loser, but simply because you're allowing yourself to become a loser. It's simply a matter of self-loathing.
Do you want to say that in English?
Bottom line, you don't like yourself, period.
What can I do?
Don't you have other tables to wait on? Other customers to abuse?
Forget them. What can I do?
Answer me this. Do you like being a waitress?
Yes. I love it.
Good. Aside from today, are you a good waitress and do you make a decent living?
I'm great at my job and I can make a lot of money.
If what you said is the truth, then how can this be a dead-end job and you be a loser?
You know what? You're right. I am a great waitress. In fact, I'm one of the best in the city, and anyone who disagrees with me can just come here, sit down, order, and watch me.
That's great, but you may want to keep this between us for right now.
Right. So, how do I prove this to my wife?
What have we been talking about? You only have to prove it to yourself. You want to know how?
Yes.
Great. Take all of that anger, put it in your locker with your jacket, and bring it home to your wife. Then, be just what you said you were. Be the best waitress in the city. Okay, let's start now. Say to me, "Hi there. Nice day, isn't it?"
Oh, okay. Hi there. How are you? Nice day, isn't it?
Good, yes, it's a great day. Now, ask me what I'd like. Go ahead.
What can I get for you, ma'am? Would you like to hear about our specials? See, I remembered you asked about the specials before.
Nice touch. No specials, but I would love a club sandwich and toast. Now, say to me, "It would be my pleasure," and go get it for me.
Ma'am, it would be my pleasure. I'll have it for you in a flash. I threw that in.
Nice. Now, go get it.
Now go get it!
No, don't repeat it. Do it.
Oh, you bet.
It's getting harder and harder just to order lunch in this town. Now, back to patient Jane Bryant. Her problem seems to stem from self-loathing and... Oh wait, that's the waitress.
Now we're friends. I've seen you play so many times. Oh yes, in my opinion, you're an artist. Always have been. Like me. An artist changes one's perception of reality. I've changed yours a lot. Don't thank me. At the time, changing your perception of reality wasn't my intention. I was trying to kill you! But since death can be seen as a drastic change in reality, you can say my intentions have been consistent from the beginning, artistically speaking. You ever kill anyone? Ever want to? I bet you have. It's great. You're so in control. Of course, I'm talking premedicated. You're so powerful. You walk down the street and no one knows how powerful you are. You're like God. All you have to do is act and everything changes. You've taken a color out of a painting and substituted one of your own. You substituted somebody else's melody with a new note. You're a pebble that's been dropped into a pond, concentric circles getting wider and wider. When you're capable of killing, you aren't afraid of anyone. You laugh to yourself inside because you know no one else is able to strike out the way you do, for keeps. You look good. People like you. Girls, I bet, like you. I bet they want to be with you. I bet you have fun. I don't have fun. I never did. Why you? Why not me? Why not me? I was contemplating the president for a few minutes, but he wouldn't be strolling through town for quite some time, so you were elected. Ha! I made a pun! I made a pun! If you must know, it was nothing personal. When I pulled the trigger, I wasn't even thinking of you. No. I was thinking of me. I was thinking of me, and when everybody else was gonna be thinking of me.
Well, we're here. Somebody say something.
Is the curtain up?
Yes.
But we can't see anything. It's like the end instead of the beginning. What's wrong?
That fool stage manager has forgotten to put up the lights.
Oh no, Ernest. He didn't forget. There's something deliberate about this. I don't trust him.
You've got him wrong, Winfred. He was very nice. He wouldn't play tricks on us, not him.
I'll go out and talk to him.
But you can't.
Why not?
Don't you remember what he said? We're not to leave the stage until we've acted out the play.
He was just trying to be impressive. I've met his kind before. It's time he learned that actors are far more important than stage managers.
He said it as if it were law.
Well, I won't just stand here in the dark. Lights! Lights! Hey, you out there, lights!
Why can't you just be quiet and wait, Ernest?
Is there an audience out there?
Yes, I can hear them soughing.
You can hear them what?
Soughing, dear. Breathing heavily as in sleep.
I feel as if I'm asleep too.
If we're all going to feel things, we won't get anywhere at all.
Yeah, asleep and dreaming. I'm a child again. I can see myself being led into a room full of people. They laugh and tell me to dance. I don't know what to do. I can't dance. So I hop up and down on one foot. Up and down. Up and down. Suddenly they're applauding. I'm a huge success. Why do I want to cry?
That's more like it.
The stage manager said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
I knew he'd take care of us.
They're flickering on and off. It's worse than it was before.
Why don't you go off in that corner and have that cry?
And look, Winifred, you were right. There is an audience.
So there is.
Isn't it wonderful, Tony? Do you see them?
Yeah, I see them.
They're waiting for us to begin.
Do they know what we're going to do? Has it been explained to them?
I defy you to explain anything that's going on this stage right now.
Just asking a question.
Don't ask questions, Tony. You'll only make yourself unhappy. Ernest says they're waiting for us to begin. Well, let's begin.
Wait a minute, Laura. Tony might have a point. I wonder if they do know what we're going to do.
Maybe we ought to tell them.
All right then, tell them.
Me?
Certainly, it's your bright idea.
I'm sure I could explain everything very lucidly.
I bet you could, Ernest. That's why I want him to do it.
But I wouldn't know what to say.
I know you wouldn't.
Are you making fun of me, Winifred?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to... They say every actor has a dream, a reoccurring dream, and they're on stage, and they don't remember their lines or the play. That's how it is with us, here, today. Maybe we are asleep. Maybe we aren't really here. I don't know.
Wait, you can stop right there. I know that I'm here, thank you very much. Irrevocably, unwillingly, and disgustingly here.
You better let me do it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, an hour ago, each of us received a message to report to this theater. There were jobs waiting for us. When we got here, the stage manager told us to go on stage immediately and improvise a play, which we are about to do. See how easy it is?
Yeah. It's easy to say what happened. You didn't say what it means. Who are we? What are we doing here? That's the important thing.
Would it help if we told them our names, Tony?
An excellent suggestion, Laura. I was just about to think of it myself. My name is Ernest. I am returning to the stage after 3 successful seasons on the West Coast, where I scored personal success in more than 2 films. Born and raised of a theatrical family, I was reared in the dressing room.
Ernest.
At the age of 5.
You're not explaining anything.
I'm telling them who I am.
But it's more than that.
Can I continue?
Sure, go ahead.
Ernest, be quiet.
I haven't finished.
Certainly they know all about you, an actor of your standing. You don't want to bore them by telling them things they already know, do you?
Well, no, but
Then sit down.
It's your turn, Winifred.
I'm Winifred. I've had rather a cloudy career as an actress. You may have seen me, but you wouldn't remember. I usually play the leading lady's best friend. I don't like the theater because you can't trust it. This is an example of what I mean. Next.
Hi, my name's Laura Lee, but somebody told me a long stage name was bad luck, so I shortened it to Laura. It hasn't helped me much, but I don't really mind. Perhaps I wasn't meant to be an actress. I think that's all.
hold tight, everybody.
Your turn, Tony.
I have nothing to say.
But Tony, you've got to tell them something about yourself.
None of you did. It's all so unreal.
What are you doing here? Did you come for curiosity? For enlightenment? Or were you too commanding?
None of us were commanding!
Then what are you doing here? It's the only explanation. You're a celebrity. Surely this is beneath you. Laura wasn't meant to be an actress, and Winifred hates the stage.
And you're afraid, aren't you?
Yes, I'm afraid. There. I've told them something about myself.
If that's all you've got to say, then sit down. You were amusing to begin with, but no longer. Soul searching is the lowest form of entertainment.
I don't see why you're afraid, Tony. You ask what we're doing here, and it's simple. We are here to please an audience, and the audience is here to be pleased.
Why can't you be more like Ernest, Tony? He knows everything.
Stage manager's not going to like it if we don't do something soon.
Of course, Laura. Ladies and gentlemen, the stage manager gave us instructions, and I feel it is only fair to share them with you. First of all, we are to not leave the stage until he is completely satisfied with our performance.
That's a cheerful thing to tell them. He's one of those sour little men who never like anything at all.
You better stop talking about him that way, Winifred. He's right over there. He can hear you. You might offend him.
That's nothing compared to what he's done to me.
But he's so important and good. I think he's been very nice to me. I have great faith in him.
I thought you wanted to begin, Laura.
Sorry, Ernest.
Secondly, we are not to leave the stage until our play has been completed. And third of all, our play is to be an imitation of life.
No, that's wrong. Well, it is. He didn't say that.
Are you sure, Tony?
I listened very carefully. He didn't say it was to be an imitation of life. He said it was supposed to be life.
How are you feeling? Are you ready to start the session? Why don't you want any more treatment?
I'd rather not go on living like this.
Why not?
Isn't it obvious?
Not to me. I've seen many patients like you.
And they all want to live?
Usually,
Why?
they find a new way of life.
How?
You'll be surprised how many things you'll be able to do with a little training and some patience.
Such as?
You can't be sure yet, but I should think you'll be able to operate reading machines and perhaps an adaptive typewriter.
Reading and writing. What about arithmetic?
I dare say we could fit you up with a comptometer if you really wanted one.
Mr. Boyle, even educationalists know that the 3 R's don't make a full life.
What did you do before the accident?
I taught in art school. I was a sculptor.
I see.
Difficult, isn't it? An electrically operated hammer and chisel? No, well, a cybernetic lump of clay?
I wouldn't laugh if I were you. It's amazing what can be done. Our scientists are wonderful.
They are, but you see, it's not good enough, Mr. Boyle. I have no desire at all to be the object of scientific virtuosity. I have thought things over very carefully. I do have plenty of time for thinking, and I have decided that I don't want to go on living with so much effort for so little result.
Well, we shall have to see about that.
What is there to see?
We can't just stop treatment just like that.
Why not?
It's the job of the hospital to save life, not lose it.
The hospital's done all it can, but it wasn't good enough. It's not the hospital's fault. The injury was too big.
We have to make the best of the
No,
situation.
we don't have to do anything. I have to do what's to be done, and that's cash in chips.
Try not to dwell on it. I'll see what I can do to get you started on some occupational therapy. Perhaps we can make a start on the reading machines.
How many books for those machines?
Quite a few,
Can I make a request for the first one?
if you'd like.
How to be a sculptor with no hands.
I'll be back tomorrow with the machines.
It's marvelous, you know.
What is?
All you people have the same technique. When I say something really awkward, you just pretend I haven't said anything at all. You all the bloody same. Well, there's another awkward. That should be your cue to comment on the light shade or the color of the walls.
I'm sorry if I've upset you.
Of course you upset me. You and the doctors with your so-called professionalism, which is nothing. More than a series of verbal tricks, prevent yourself from relating to your patients as human beings.
You must understand, we have to remain relatively detached
That's
in order to
alright
help.
with me. Detach yourself, tear yourself off the dotted line that divides the man from the social worker, and post yourself off to another patient.
Why, Larry,
Yes, darling.
we're still in the theater.
Why, yes, we are, aren't we? Curious.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Don't be frightened. It's all right. I'm dead too, you know.
Oh,
I don't think I quite understand.
It's all right. I've been dead for years.
well, then what are you doing here? What are we doing here?
Well, what it comes down to is, you're ghosts. So am I.
But why are you in this theater?
I came around for the opening. I go to them all. You see, I used to be an actor, just like you.
But that doesn't explain.
I never got to be a star exactly, but I was a good actor. I played with your father, Miss Kingsley, before you were born.
Did you? Larry, think of that! What was he like back then? What was he playing?
Paula, please. Won't you explain all this?
There's no hurry. You'll be dead a long time. Now let me see. Where was I? Ah, yes. I was a good actor. Well, this is the only way I can put it. You see, actors aren't like other people, are they? You know that yourself. As a matter of fact, they're like nothing on God's green earth. And I think God realizes that, because even when an actor dies, it's different.
It is?
How?
Well, when anybody else dies, ordinary people, they go to heaven, right? I mean, if everything is all right. Well, when an actor dies, he doesn't have to go to heaven.
But why wouldn't anybody want to go to heaven?
I'll tell you something about heaven.
What?
There isn't any theater there.
Oh, Larry!
Please, go on.
Oh, heaven's all right. I liked it for a while. It's restful, and the music is good. But after a while, I began to get restless. I didn't know what was the matter with me. And then I knew what it was. I missed the theater. I kept wondering what kind of season they were having, if any new stars had come along, what kind of plays they were doing now. I was downright unhappy, and of course they noticed it. And then they told me of a special rule for actors if they died in the theater, that I could come back here and hang around.
Oh, Larry!
And that's what you can do too. Of course, you can go to heaven if you want to. Don't let me talk you out of it. But you'll be back here in no time at all. I know real actors when I see them.
Then the choice is up to us.
Indeed.
Paula,
Yes, dear?
I offer you the kingdom of heaven, or the theater!
Oh, Larry, the theater!
Good. You won't regret it. You'll have a wonderful time. Go everywhere, see everything, all through the years. Why, I've been in a dozen theaters tonight. Saw your play, took a look at Bernhardt, even jumped out onto the road and caught a little bit of Joe Jefferson. Heaven was never like that.
Oh, Larry, it is heaven!
I forgot to tell you one little thing. There may only be one chance that you have to go up there.
Oh,
What is it?
Now don't be frightened. It never can happen, but here it is. If the theater ever dies, we've got to go back.
But there'll always be theater.
Well, of course there will. I'm just telling you what they told me. If for some reason there isn't any more theater, if the theater ever dies, we go back. That's all I know.
Then we've got eternity.
Paula, it hasn't been taken away from us. Think of what lies ahead. Plays yet unwritten, stars that haven't been born yet. We'll see it all, Paula. We'll see it all.
Yes, sir.
All the magic and wonder that we love. Larry, this isn't death. This is life. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Is that enough?
Yeah, it's fine.
Then can we get this show on the road?
Actually, we've got a small problem, Liz. You're You're gonna have to anchor the show by yourself again.
Forget it. No way. I know what that small problem is. Frank fell off the wagon again, right? I take your silence as a yes. Well, this amateur stuff has to stop. You all wonder why we're Station 5 in a 3-station town. I don't care where you find someone. Just get me a co-anchor.
Here you go, Ms. Nance. These are the latest news updates.
Who are you?
I'm Larry, the new newsroom intern.
Tell me, newsroom intern. Can you read?
Of course I can read.
Well, congratulations. You've just been promoted. Sit down.
Wow, things move pretty quickly around here. So what will I get to do? Report the news, I hope. See, that's what I really want to be. I want to go out, get the stories, write them. I studied writing in college.
Yeah, that's a moving story, but you're not going to write the news.
Oh, then what'll I get to do?
You're gonna report the news with me.
You mean like I go and I get the
No.
stories and I bring them back?
Here.
Report the news with you?
Mm-hmm.
From here?
Mm-hmm.
On the air?
What are you doing?
Hyperventilating?
I can see that. Does this sort of stuff last long? See, we're on air in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, just give me a few seconds.
Are we calm now?
Ms. Nance, I can't do this. I can't perform in front of people.
Look, Lewis, right?
It's
No one's asking you to sing the aria from Carmen. All I'm asking you to do is read.
Read?
Exactly. You told me yourself you could read.
Well, I know I said that, but
No buts. Just read. Do you see that monitor up there?
yeah.
Well, words are going to appear on that, and all I want you to do is...
Read them?
Exactly! See? You're a natural. Joe, throw the first story up there for me. Thanks. Do you see the pretty little words? Well, I want you to read them for me. Can you do that?
I think so.
Good. Go ahead. Not to yourself, you genius! Out loud!
Oh, well, you don't have to yell. Look, I told you, Miss Nance, I can't do this.
You can do it. Just read it.
Today in Twain, students rioted for
Wait,
over...
today in Twain? I think if you read that again, you'd see that it says Taiwan. You know, the island off the coast of China.
I know where Taiwan is. Miss Nance, I told you, I can't do this. All these people make me too nervous.
Just forget the people.
I can't.
Look, do you want to be a sniveling, kowtowing, subservient little nobody of an intern for the rest of your life?
No.
Then suck it up, look at the monitor, and read the story. No crying!
I'm not.
Now focus on nothing else in the room. Are we doing that? Okay. Take a deep breath. And read that story!
Today in Taiwan, students rioted for over 5 hours in opposition to the government's enforced curfew. There were 3 fatalities and hundreds were injured. I did it! I really did it! I read that story in front of all these people!
I told you you could do it. Now, how do you feel about doing it for real?
You know, I think I can. I really think I can. This will be a piece of cake, a cinch. I bet I can do this in my sleep. You know, I bet I don't even need you here.
Ace, you want to calm down? How about we focus on not throwing up on camera for a start?
Whatever you say, Liz.
Frank's jacket is on the back of your chair. Put it on.
It's a little big. Do I look good?
Clip the microphone here. How are we doing for time?
10 seconds.
Remember, when that light goes on, we're on the air.
And in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening. I'm Liz Nance.
And I'm Larry.
Welcome to the 6 o'clock news.
very kind to let me stay here.
This is a remote corner of the world. Guests are rare.
The tea you pour well.
No,
The sound it makes in the cup, it's very soothing.
that is a tea skill, not mine. May I get you something else? Rice, perhaps?
No,
And some vegetables?
no thank you.
Fish? It is at least 2 days' walk to the nearest village. I saw no horse. You must be very hungry. You would do a great honor to dine with me. Guests are rare.
Thank you.
Eat. It will give me great pleasure.
This is magnificent.
You are reckless in your flattery, sir, but anything you say I will enjoy hearing. It's not the words, it's the sound of a voice, the way it moves through the air.
How long has it been since you last had a visitor?
I don't know. I lose track. Perhaps 5 days ago, perhaps 10 years, perhaps yesterday. I don't consider time when there's no voice in the air. It's pointless. Time begins with the entrance of his visitor and exits with his exit.
And in between, you don't keep track of the days? You can't help but notice that.
Of course I notice, but I don't keep track.
Oh.
May I bring you more?
More? No, this is wonderful.
You must be tired. Did you sleep last night?
Yes,
Or did you not sleep at all?
I slept.
Where?
By a waterfall. The sound of the water put me to sleep. It rumbled like the sounds of a city. You see, I can't sleep in too much silence. It scares me. It makes me feel I have no control over what is about to happen.
I feel the same way.
But you live here? Alone?
Yes. Tonight I'll fall asleep. I'll lie down in the next room and fall asleep to your breathing shamelessly. There will be no silence.
You're very kind to let me stay here.
This is yours.
Did you make it yourself?
There is a place to wash outside.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
I didn't know your name.
No, I mean, I would rather not say. If I gave you a name, it would only be made up. Why should I deceive you? You're too kind for that.
Then what should I call you? Perhaps man who fears silence?
Perhaps man who fears women.
That name is much too common.
And you?
Hanako.
That's your name?
It's what you may call me.
Good night, Hanako. You are very kind.
You are very smart. Good night.
You're talking quite rationally now, and your self-doubts are a sign of health. A truly crazy person never thinks he's crazy. Now explain to me what led up to your attempted suicide.
Well, a few days ago, I woke up and I heard this voice saying it wasn't enough.
Did you recognize the voice?
Not at first, but then it started to come back to me. When I was 8 years old, someone took me to a theater with lots of other children to see a production of Peter Pan. And I remember something seemed off about the whole production. Strange things kept happening. Like, when the actors would fly, the ropes kept breaking, and the actors would come thumping down to the floor, and they'd have to get carried off by the stagehands. And there seemed to be an unlimited supply of understudies to take their place, and then they'd fall to the ground. And you know that crocodile that chases Captain Hook? Well, it seemed to be a real crocodile. It wasn't an actor. And at one point, it fell off the stage, crushing several children in the front row.
What happened to the children?
Well, several understudies came and took their place in the audience.
And I remember, scene by scene, Wendy kept getting fatter and fatter until eventually she was immobile and had to be moved with a cart.
Where does the voice fit in?
The voice belonged to the actress playing Peter Pan. Do you remember that scene where Tinkerbell drinks some poison that Peter's about to drink in order to save him? And then Peter turns to the audience and says that Tinkerbell's going to die because not enough people believe in fairies. But that if everybody claps real hard to show that they do believe in fairies, then maybe Tinkerbell won't die. Well, so we clapped. We clapped very long and very hard. My palms hurt and even started to bleed. I clapped so hard. And then eventually, the actress playing Peter Pan turned to the audience and said, "That wasn't enough. You didn't clap hard enough. Tinkerbell's dead." And so then everyone started to cry. The actress playing Peter Pan stalked off stage and refused to continue with the performance. And no one could see anything through all the tears, so the ushers had to bring us out into the aisles, out into the street. I don't think any of us were ever the same after that experience.
How do you think this affected you?
Well, it certainly turned me against the theater. But more importantly, I think it warped my sense of life. You know, what's worth trying if Tinkerbell's just going to die?
So you wanted to die just like Tinkerbell?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you something that I've never told anyone. I still have my baby blanket. You don't seem surprised. That's probably because you think I have it packed away in a box with other keepsakes, like my first report card and my school pictures. Well, you're wrong. I not only still have my baby blanket, I still use it. Every night. Not to keep me warm, of course. Even when it was new, it was just your average baby blanket. About so square. And now it's even smaller because it's so ragged and tattered. But the good place is still there. The special corner where the satin binding feels just right. All blankets have a good place, you know, and only that person can tell you where it is. The good place on my blanket is about this long. And the reason it's so good is because it's different than the rest of the blanket. Silky, smooth, and comforting. When I go to bed at night, I grab my blanket. Actually, I've always called it my blankie. And I hold it in my left hand. It has to be my left hand, and it has to be held just right, with my thumb on one side and the rest of my hand on the other. Then, I hold the blankie up to my face and I rub the good place. I used to suck my thumb too, the other thumb, not the thumb that was holding the good place. But I don't do that anymore because I don't want my teeth to protrude. When I was 6 years old, the tooth fairy stole my blanket. She came into my room in the middle of the night and ripped me off while I was sleeping. My mother told me that the tooth fairy took my blankie when she took my first tooth, because kids who are old enough to lose their baby teeth no longer need their baby blankets. I didn't buy that story for 1 minute. When you lose your baby teeth, it's because they aren't any good to you anymore. For weeks before they come out, they're too loose to chew with, and no kid in his right mind would want to save an old bloody tooth when you could put it under your pillow and get 50 cents for it. But my blanket was not useless like an old tooth. My blanket was being used every night. Fortunately, the tooth fairy did a stupid thing. She put my blankie on the top shelf of the linen closet. I found it a week later while my mother was at the grocery store and I was trying to find out what I had gotten for my birthday. There it was, right under some scrapbooks and my mom and dad's old wedding photos. I took the blankie to my room and put it under my pillow. That night, the good place had felt better than I remembered. The next day, I took my blankie and showed it to my mother. "Look," I said, "the tooth fairy brought my baby blankie back." She got this funny look on her face. She didn't even ask me why I was snooping in the linen closet. How could she? She didn't know where the tooth fairy put my blanket.
we actually went to a movie in Princeton. The train makes a series of local stops. People get on and off at Newark and Metro Park and Metuchen. People of all different shapes and sizes, with everything hidden behind their eyes. The dinner the three of us shared was a weird, totally surreal experience. Susanna and me trying to eat, while Anthony sipped water and stole glances at the clock. The three of us sitting there, trying to talk, saying goodbye. I thought about telling him that I could not permit things to move forward. I wanted to tell him that things had changed, but it seemed that if he wanted it to stop, he had to be the one to stop it. I kept sending him these messages with my eyes to tell me what to do, looking at him for a sign that he was reconsidering, sifting his behavior for the slightest nuance of an invitation. It was like the first time I kissed him. Who goes first? Should I? Shouldn't I? And then I was in a cab. The cab was on the street, and Susanna was reading Time magazine, and somewhere within that interlude, I began to imagine it all worked out, all complete. I imagined us coming home to find him dead. It was a hazy kind of cottony aftermath. The funeral, the tears. I imagined the crematorium and the fire and his ashes in a vase. I was filled with love and an unearthly sadness for him. And then I imagined myself eating his ashes. I imagined the spoon and the taste of his ashes in my mouth. Susanna, I realized, was staring into my eyes when we were, in fact, on a train. I don't know what she saw. Our friends wanted to meet us for a late dinner and go to a movie. They met us at the station and we went straight to dinner.
Why dost thou weep?
You wouldn't understand. Oh my god, not another one. I'm doomed for sure. They'll lock me up and throw away the key.
Who would do such a thing to thee?
My parents, you know, the grown-ups with absolute control of your lives, Mom and Dad.
I see.
You do?
'Tis the duty of a daughter to obey her mother and father. Ah me, it's a woeful thing.
It sure is a woeful thing. You know what? You're pretty cool. I mean, you're the first character I've been able to talk to. You are a character, aren't you?
So it is written, and what may you be?
Just a teenage kid. I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Alicia. But hey, what's in a name, right?
Right, I'm Juliet Capulet.
I figured. Where's Romeo? I think he'd be cool to meet.
Ah, Romeo, gentle Romeo, my only love sprung from my only hate. Too early unseen unknown and known too late.
Stop! You're lasting back into that dynamic pentameter stuff, and I can't follow you.
1,000 apologies. What was the question?
Where's Romeo? I think he'd be cool to meet.
Oh no, Romeo's gaze is warm as the sun's. Never cool.
No, I didn't. Never mind. I just wanted to know where he is. I thought you two were always together.
By Jove's good fortune, he did not land in a large basket as I did.
Oh, I mustn't have torn out any of his pages.
What meanest thou?
It's a long story, and I'd really like to talk to you about my parents and school and all that, but I'd really have to go through the garbage.
Garbage?
Yeah, you know, trash, refuse, rubbish.
Aye, garbage. I'll help thee.
You will?
To speak sad, Brown, in truth, I've never had a friend before.
You know what? That's pretty sad. I mean, I don't know what I'd do without my friends. I mean, who do you talk to and, like, complain to about, like, everything?
Complain about parents. They're such coil.
Do your parents give you a hard time?
Indeed, they arranged a marriage for me to the nobleman Paris, and were amazed when I was not thankful. They bade me be proud, bade me be not proud, and my mother wished me married to my grave.
Gosh, I thought my parents were a pain. They don't want me married for at least another 10 years.
With that mine were such, my father
called me a disobedient wretch. He would have left me out to die, no, starve, ere I disobeyed him.
And your mother?
My mother is done with me.
Your life is not a walk in the park, is it?
What meanest thou?
I was just thinking that you have real problems, and all the things I complain about, my parents, school, and all that stuff, aren't really all that important. But you're a character from a tragedy, so you're expected to have at least a few difficulties.
Thou art kind. I like thee.
I like thee too. Thou aren't so hard to understand either.
My tutor bade me study hard. I was quick with other tongues.
Come to think of it, I bet you were pretty smart. If Romeo had listened to you, none of this bad stuff would have happened.
What speakest thou?
Well, if I remember your story correctly, you had everything figured out. Today, Romeo would have gotten a message in time. I mean, a phone would have been very helpful.
Phone?
Yeah, or email if you guys had computers.
Email? Computers?
Of course, the world would be deprived of one of the greatest love stories of all times. Of course, there would be no tragedy then, and the world would be deprived of one of the greatest love stories of all time. And that would be a tragedy.
Thy words are hard to understand.
And thy words make my brain cloud over, but I'm pretty sure we understand each other.
Indeed, I swear we do.